Wait, pause, stop right here for a second. Wait with me, hold on. So, before we continue this episode, I thankfully want to let you know that I almost deleted it. I almost said skip episode 8. We're going to go straight to 9, but I'm going to leave it here. And once it's posted, I'm not going to take it down because I'm not going to do that. But I wasn't going to post it because things are in a more positive space right now. And I'll talk about it in episode 9, but I just didn't want you guys to freak out through this episode or anything like that. This was an experience, and this was where I was when I initially recorded the episode. But I kind of wanted to have more clarity before it was officially posted. And now that I do and have processed it, I am ready to share this part with you. And it's a little contradictory to how I was recording it because I had full intention on sharing it with you through the moment. But I like to be able to have answers to more questions. And the more I was expressing it to people, the more questions people had. So I just wanted to be able to give you guys light and clarity as we go. So episode 9 is on its way and in the works. But for now, here's episode 8. Well, hello, and welcome back to Growing Through the Vents. This is Anitra, and we are on episode 8. I'm gonna start by saying there has been a long delay between episode 7 and episode 8, and I am so sorry and appreciate your grace so much through this. Yeah, we're going to get into it. But on episode 7, I was talking about how beautiful life has been, and it has most definitely been beautiful in so many ways, in so many aspects. But a few weeks ago, I found out that my cancer is back. I kind of talk about it in episode 3, open seating. How I have papillary thyroid carcinoma, and I had a bit of a complicated case. So to go back, I was first diagnosed in 2021, August of 2021, and then had my first surgery September 2021, followed by my second, the first surgery kind of didn't necessarily go as planned. Typically with the type of cancer that I have, it's like an hour and a half long procedure. They take out the thyroid. You go home after a day or 2 in the hospital. But I'm complicated, so I don't ever expect just a simple result in a lot of things, right? And in episode 3, I talk about how that's like not a flex, to be different all the time. It's not. So with my case, my first surgery was 5.5 hours long. My vocal cords collapsed while I was on the table, which had me lose airflow. And so they had to stop the surgery halfway through. I ended up having to do like vocal cord therapy for a while and strengthen my vocal cords again and learn to rely on my lungs less than my actual vocal cords to speak and all that fun stuff. And then had to go back January 2022 for my second surgery to take out the remainder of the thyroid and a lot of the remaining lymph nodes. That surgery went fairly well. It was like 3.5 hours long, and I went home after like 2 days in the hospital. I kind of had to hop around because my family had COVID during that time, but it's fine. And so then I had radioactive iodine March of 2022, and that was supposed to be the end of treatment. With the radioactive iodine, it kind of stays in your system for up to 18 months, and it's supposed to like basically kill anything thyroid related in my body because I'm not supposed to have anything thyroid related now that I've had it removed, right? So my numbers have been consistent for the last few years and have been really low where they're supposed to be. And everything's been great consistently year after year at this point, right? It's 2024. And I've truly been feeling like the healthiest I have ever felt, at least in years. Like the healthiest. Like I've been up and active. I've been doing things. I've been like not so fatigued, not so shaky. Like I've been feeling on top of the world. So a few weeks back when I ended up not feeling so well, I was a little confused and was like, maybe my medicine needs to be adjusted or something. And so I made an appointment with my endocrinologist. I did my lab work and was assuming she was just going to have to like lower my dosage of medicine because I've been feeling healthy. So maybe like the excessive amount of hormones that I'm supposed to be taking with my medicine has me feeling more and more like crap because that's what like an excessive amount of hormones in your body does. And that's what I've been having to take. Sorry, I had to take a break and we'll get to why in a second. But yeah, so I went and had my lab work done so that when I had my appointment with her, we can, discuss whatever medication changes that we would need. Except for when the lab work came back, the numbers jumped dramatically. It went from like below -1 all the way to like a 46. And like a couple of my other labs related to my thyroid jumped too. And she was like, well, this indicates that the disease is back, that the cancer is back. And at that moment, I was like, that doesn't feel right because I have been feeling so good. But okay, like this is what the numbers indicate. So what now? And I had to schedule an ultrasound. And it's not my first rodeo. I've had to have who knows how many ultrasounds at this point on my thyroid area, like on my neck region. My first surgery was a total neck dissection. So I have a scar from like ear to ear. Like I've had to have a lot of ultrasounds is where I'm getting at, like within my neck region completely. But especially on this left side because they have always kept an eye on either an enlarged lymph node or a cluster of lymph nodes. We've not really been able to tell. We've just kept an eye on it. And so my appointment was on a Friday, and I was able to get an appointment with the ultrasound technicians for the following Saturday. And like I said, it's not my first rodeo, so I kind of know what I'm looking at when I'm looking at the screen at this point on that left side. I can't see the right side based on how my head has to be turned, but the left side I can always see. And so I saw the cluster that I've seen over the past, 3 years, and it was larger than I remembered it. And then she moved down to the left side of the bed of the thyroid, or where my thyroid would be if I still had one. And it lit up quite bright and vibrant, which it's not really supposed to do. So at that point, like I knew, but it was a Saturday. So the results weren't going to come back until at least Monday, right? They don't work over the weekends. I mean, like they do, but they don't like for that, And so all of Saturday and all of Sunday, I'm kind of just like trying to mentally prepare myself for what's next because I already know that it grew, and from what it looked like, it spread. So something just like wasn't feeling right. And I really just like didn't know how to tell anybody. I was kind of just processing it for myself. So I didn't tell anybody about my appointment, which is way different because usually like when I have an appointment, I tell like my whole support group because they've not missed an appointment, you know? But I was feeling like super healthy. So like I'm kind of in a denial phase. Except now I am back on a higher dosage of medicine. So now I'm feeling more like crap again. And I get really super shaky and fatigued and tired and just like winded doing the most simple things. It's so annoying sometimes, but it's kind of just part of the process, right? Just got to do what you got to do. And so the results came back and they felt like they saw that the lymph node area that they had been watching did grow and that it did spread, or that it lit up indicating that it could have spread. So fast forward to today, Thursday, September 26, 2024, which is ironic because my first surgery was September 21st, 2021. But September 26, 2024, I had to go to interventional radiology so that I can have a biopsy done on 2 regions in my neck. So I'm a little sore and I'm a little tender and it's not the most comfortable to speak, but I figured that this would be the most vulnerable that you would get me. That this would allow me to be my most vulnerable and authentic self with you guys. I am in like discomfort. I just got poked in my neck like 9 times today, which is far less than the other biopsies I've had in the past, but still super uncomfortable. So bear with me as I take breaks to this, as I have to just pace myself right now. But yeah, I really wanted to share this with you guys because the first round that I went through, or even like first 2 rounds, I guess, I don't even know how to technically count it because that first round was so interesting that I ended up having like that second surgery within it. So technically this is round 2, but it feels more like a round 3. I was really just like super private about it. Like the only people that knew were the people that like I physically saw. And if I didn't physically see you, then like I didn't tell you. And then I didn't post or say anything about it until my 1-year like anniversary from my first surgery. So like September 21st, 2022, like a whole year after I had my first surgery. But this time I kind of feel like maybe I should document it a little bit more, or at least like keep record of it differently. I kind of feel like this is something that allows me to show you that I'm still human in all of this, because I have such a strong faith. Like I truly do have such a strong faith, and I have faith over any fears or anxieties or worries. And I truly know that it's in God's hands, and I don't push my beliefs or my faith on anybody. I know that the relationship that I built with God over the course of my life has been built with Him by my life. By living through just different testimonies and seeing different testimonies, and just even witnessing different testimonies, and just knowing all that He's capable of. And that's just like a relationship that I have with Him, and I don't force that on anybody, but I am open about it, and I am going to share that also. So yeah, I have complete faith over any fear or anxieties or worries, but I'm still human. So I still do feel all of those emotions. I do get anxious. I do get worried. I do get sad. I do feel just even lonely sometimes, no matter how much support I have. And I love and I'm so grateful for my support. And they're so consistent in making sure that they let me know not to feel alone. But sometimes you just can't help yourself but to feel alone when you're the one that's having to feel it, you know? I had a moment in the car this morning on my way to the doctor's appointment when I was just by myself, and had to just like allow myself to feel everything that I was feeling emotionally, because I had a really super long night last night. I slept for a few hours, but got up and like couldn't get comfortable and couldn't go back to sleep, and tried to do all the things, like stretch, get up, have some tea, like whatever the case was going to like help me. Just nothing was working. So I ended up journaling and praying about it, because like those are the things that I know to do that didn't involve me leaving my house at odd hours of the night to go sit at the lake by myself. So I just did those things here at home. But yeah, it's just kind of reminding myself that it's okay to have those emotions, because I do, and I allow myself to have them a lot in private, but I don't necessarily show those emotions to anybody else. And just because you carry it well doesn't mean it's not heavy. It most definitely gets heavy. Life gets heavy. I'm not saying just for me, because this is my experience, but everybody has to go through their own experiences in life. And I completely understand that and get that. And like I said in that episode 3, like, who am I to say that my experience is bigger than somebody else's, no matter what their experience may be. But yeah, so I don't know. I feel like you guys are really going to get to know me a little bit more in depth, and know that the positivity that I share and my optimism is so true to who I am, because I've been in really, really, really dark spaces before with anxiety and depression, like really super dark, where I can't even recall periods of time, like it's just like super just dark. And I know I would never want to have to go back there. And that's why I lean so much into faith. And that's why I try to see positivity in like anything, or purpose in everything, because there typically is purpose behind everything. And I don't know what it may be right now, but I know that there is purpose behind everything. So I just got to keep moving forward until it reveals itself, I guess, I don't really like to be in a negative space. And sometimes like I find myself there where like I'm feeling lonely or anxious or sad or just emotional, or I just don't feel good. And it doesn't feel good not to feel good, especially when like I was just feeling so great. Like I got to taste what it felt like to feel so great for the first time in a really long time, just for it to get like swept from underneath my feet, And so it's a little disheartening sometimes. But I know to trust the process, and that this too shall pass, and that it is in God's hands. So just ride the wave and do what I gotta do. And that's all I can do. So when I have days like today where I know I'm going to have to be in really uncomfortable positions and have to be poked with like needles that hurt, like I gotta stress that like when I was in the hospital, I used to have at least 8 shots a day, right? And I've had like who knows how many labs done. So I've had my blood drawn I don't know how many times, or like video scopes where like they stick a tube up my nose and down my throat to make sure my vocal cords are working. Like I have had countless amounts of those things. But like for the biopsy, like if you had like a lidocaine needle poked into your anywhere, but like in your neck region, and you have to be up for it, like I have to be awake for it, right? That shit, that hurts. Like no matter like with shots, if you relax, like it doesn't really hurt that bad. I've learned little tricks that have helped me get through it real simple and real easy. But those lidocaine pokes, oh my gosh. And they can't necessarily like numb it all the way through because they can't get the numbing like lidocaine on the part that they're going to be testing, right? So they only numb it to that point. And so the other like 4 needles that are going into my neck, like I can feel them poking around to pull off whatever it's going to pull off for testing. So it's like a weird feeling. It's super uncomfortable. And like now, like my neck is so tender, it like hurts to move around or even laugh. So like the fact that I'm doing this right now is probably ridiculous, but I'm like literally in my most vulnerable state with you guys right now. So I just felt like there's no better timing to record this. And honestly, I've tried to record this, I don't know how many times, and I'm recording this so differently this time because typically I have like a whole outline written out and it's for me to stay on topic and not hop around. But one, my computer died on me while recording it. And then 2, I'm just like in conversation with you guys right now. Like I don't have an outline. I don't have a flower picked for the end of the episode. I don't have any of that. I'm just like truly here with you in conversation, just expressing what's been going on. So welcome into my life a little bit more unfiltered. Yeah. This is me truly being vulnerable with you guys because like I don't even know what's about to come out of my mouth next, but it's fine. Yeah. So that's kind of just like what's been going on. And I don't know. I feel like it's important for me to share it this time along the journey and not just after the journey. And this is going to be how a lot of people find out that my cancer's back. So I'm sorry, but that you're finding out this way. I honestly took my time telling my front line of people that it was back. Like I took like 2 weeks to tell everybody that has been there from the very beginning to actually like let them know like, oh, hey, by the way, but who wants to have to tell people all over again? Like it was kind of an emotional experience. It was a little draining on my end. I'm not going to lie, because I'm having to repeat the same thing over and over again to multiple people and explain to them that I'm going to be okay, because of course there's always going to be a little bit of worry. And who wants to have to watch people they care about go through things that they can't like fix or change? Like for me, I'm the one that has to go through it. So I just got to do what I got to do. But I couldn't imagine having to just like watch somebody I care about have to go through it. You know, like I know I can do it. And I'm not saying that any of them like wouldn't be able to, but I wouldn't want them to ever have to, you know? I would hope none of you have to really experience this truly. But yeah, it's just a part of my journey and it's a part of my testimony. So he's made it go away before and he'll make it go away again. I just got to do what I got to do on my end. But yeah, so that's kind of like what's been going on. I just felt like this would be the perfect time for me to share that with you guys and really just be me in conversation. It's been eventful and it's only the beginning. I have a follow-up appointment in a couple weeks, but the results don't come back until like midweek or late next week. So I'll definitely keep you guys posted. Yeah, this is not how I was expecting to be, especially around the holidays, but it's cool. This too shall pass. I'm probably going to hop off this though here in a moment. Let me look up a good flower. What kind of flower are we thinking this week? Because I feel like I've done a butterfly flower before and I feel like we just need something more positive. So let's see. Lilies are one of my favorite flowers. And when I search flower for positive energy, a peace lily pops up. And I may have had some type of lily on previous episodes. I kind of have lost track of the flowers, other than knowing that the lotus flower is definitely in there. And have I done a larkspur yet? I'm pretty sure in a gladiolus, but we'll do a peace lily this week because peace lilies are considered a powerful tool for promoting positive energy and enhancing the overall harmony of a space. And that's all I want, honestly. I appreciate empathy, but I don't necessarily like to be in the most respectful way, like patronized. I don't want to be looked at with like puppy dog eyes. And I'm so much more than Cancer. Like, I'm so much more than that. So I don't like to be looked at like that's just what I have, because I have so much more to offer than this. And that's kind of like where my frustration lies with all of these symptoms, because I have so much more to offer than just being so tired and being so fatigued and being so shaky and malfunctioning the way that I do right now. But it's fine. But yeah, positive energy, prayers, love, all of that good stuff, good vibes, whatever you want to call it, however you want to say it, all of that energy is received and appreciated. Now, all the negativity or sorrow, respectfully, you guys can keep that. God got this in his hands, so I'm not going to really worry too much about it, but I will go through the motions and feel all the feelings and allow myself to do that as I go through it, because I feel like that's healthy and part of being vulnerable. And being vulnerable is something that I'm promoting in a positive light on this podcast, because I had always viewed vulnerability so negatively. So I don't want to look at vulnerability negatively anymore, even just like within myself, you know? So yeah, let's go ahead and have a sense of tranquility and peace with those peace lilies, and know that there's purpose behind everything and beautiful things lie ahead. So thank you for spending some time with me today, and we'll talk more on episode 9. I don't know what that's going to be about yet, but it's honestly been fun not having to have an outline created for this episode and just being able to talk to you guys just one-on-one. And I am here for any questions or any conversation. And it's September, so it's actually Thyroid Cancer Awareness Month. So for those of you that may have any questions or concerns, go get your thyroids checked. If you feel like your hormones are off, go get your thyroids checked. If you're not feeling right, just go get your thyroids checked, because you never know. And so many hormones are related to your thyroid. It is crazy. And I didn't know until I had to know. So do better than I knew to do, and learn before you have to know, you know? Other than that, y'all have a great rest of your night. And I appreciate y'all for listening and sticking through this with me. You guys stay blessed, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.